it's Dan again. In this video we're going to carry on from the previous two videos where I use a photograph and we trace over it to create our own vector graphic. This time we're going to use a sketch I did in an earlier video to make this guy over here. So same technique but different sort of format for beginning. See how you get on with it. It's a little longer video, but I left timestamps at the bottom so you guys can sort of flick around and get to the bits you want to see. There's loads of time lapse on this, so you can watch it, skip it, whatever. And I'll leave a link to in the description for the original video where I sketched this. It's one of my earliest videos, so see how you get on with that too. And I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it helps you guys out. So after looking through some old drawings, I think I want to use this Porsche for the next project. And after the success of the Mustang, I think this is going to look really good. Let me just put a bit of paper in so you can see the drawing a bit better. There's a few lines I'm not happy with. This bump around the front here, around the window could be a bit tight. So there's a few bits we can fix. But yeah, I'm going to take a photograph of this and get it over to Inkscape. So first up, we need to get the image imported into Inkscape. So just go to File and Import. Grab the image, open. I usually leave all this alone, just hit OK. And there we go. So it's a little bit big. I want to make it fit the artboard, so I'm going to hit Control, or hold Control, and just shrink it down. And a bit more. So we need to set up our little key. So I want to hit the B button key, and we're going to draw up some lines. Let's just hold down Control to make that straight, and enter. I'm just going to duplicate those. Control D. Let's just drop that down. I think 4 lines should do it. And this is just to help us when we start making our outlines and picking up details. We can choose the correct line weight, and it'll just give the whole illustration some kind of readability. So I'm just going to go over to stroke style. Leave that on millimeters for this. I'm going to make my outline 1 millimeter, and then just bring them down in little segments. So 0.75 for the next one, 0.5 for the next one, and 0.25, and that should give us a nice spread of line weights. You can label. I labelled it on the Mustang one, but I won't bother with this because I think you get the gist. But that's going to be like the main outline. These are going to be interior main details, and then like your sub details and down to fine details. So let's get started. Let's hit the B button, and all we're going to do is our straight line pass. So you want to do the bare minimum clicks. If you do too many clicks, you'll create more work for yourself because you'll have more lines to play with, and it doesn't always look better with more. If you do too few, your lines might not be able to conform to the shapes you want. So you kind of hit this middle ground, and I can't really explain what that is. You've got to just sort of experiment yourselves, but I tend to put too many in and create too much. So let's just start here on the body work. So let's start on this corner here. I'm just going to jump straight across to this one because I think I can make that conform. And I'm going to jump straight across to about here, somewhere there. I think I can make that conform. And then of course you've got a corner here, so we'll have to jump to that one. And I reckon I can probably do that in one jump. But you see how this is a little edge on this section? Here's a sharp point, it's like a definite turn, and there it's like a radius. So anywhere there's a point, you can click on the point and that will create two curves that meet that point. If you want a curve, you need to stop just before and just after, and then you'll be able to bend that into that curve. So I'm just going to plough on round now. Get clicking, and then we'll go back with another pass and do all the curves. So I want to do just the outline. I don't want to come down here, I don't want to cut anything off. And you can always, I find it's easier to add nodes than take them away, so I'm probably going to struggle to do that in one jump, but wherever I pick, there's going to be an edge, so I think just for speed I'd make less initial clicks and then sort it out once you've been round. Okay, that's it. So pretty simple. Let me just select everything and go over, because this is our outline, I'm going to set this to 1mm, and then I'm going to hit N, which actually we've already got selected, and I'm just going to start bending these into shape. Let me just lower the opacity a touch so that we can see through to the illustration underneath. We'll start on the bonnet there. Nice easy one to start with. And what you're trying to do is create like a seamless edge. So if you've got the approach line correct and the exit line correct, all you got to do is obviously match up that line so it's a nice continual edge. And you've got to be careful picking up these lines, because you can grab this line here and pull it, it's going to conform more at this end than that end, and if you grab it and pull it wherever you click, you can cause a kink. It gives you a lot of flexibility, but if you do it incorrectly it's going to cause you problems. I'll just put this back to where it was. So I tend to just, on a gentle curve, just pick up the middle and move it slightly. And looking at this, you can see there like the apex of that curve's here, so you want to pick up the line there, and that will help it conform how you want it to. So the apex of this one's here somewhere, so drop straight down, pick up the opposite edge, and where it kinks in, you'll see when I do this next one. This is the one I was worried about, because I think this is maybe a bit too much to do in one hit, but we'll see. As I bring this one up, the other one should level out to meet it, which it hasn't. But that's okay. That's actually worked better than I thought it was. I thought this would work and the other one wouldn't, but it's the other wrong way around. So I'm just going to click on the line. I'm going to grab that handle. I'm just going to manipulate it manually. Just gently bring it up. That's a bit better. So we just lost that. By changing that end, it's affected this end. So I'm just going to go back and try to do this one without affecting the other end again. Something like that. That's not bad. So that was just a few nodes, and I managed to get right around that quite complex curve there. So we'll just carry on. I'll try and go a bit quicker. Probably leave that one straight because it's a curve into a straight into a curve, so it looks quite pleasing to the eye. Possibly that one as well. I think I'll leave that straight too. And then do the same with the tyre. And then with this one, there's a bit more of a curve there than anywhere else. So I'm going to pick up the line there and just push that into place. No, let's try again. Let's try in the middle. That's better. This wheel's a bit of a jump as well. Let's just click on that and pull that. Yeah, might need another node. So I'm going to go halfway and about there. Let's just bring another node in. And then manually adjust this last section. Let's just bring up the opacity because it's getting a bit tricky. Let's make it yellow actually. No. Just turn that fill off. That's better. What's that look like? Not bad. It could be a little bit better though, I think. Yeah, happy with that. So I'm probably going to leave that one straight because it's the edge of the bumper. And we'll just grab this one, probably about there. Beautiful. And we said we'd do this little corner. So what I'm going to do is put a little bend into that edge, and then come back and do the join bit. If you go around in sequence, sometimes you get this bit right, but when you make the next adjustment, it can throw this one off. So by doing the opposing ones first, you can get the joining one spot on. He hopes. Something like that. Nearly done now. Around the headlight. Is that it? I think that's it for the outline. So let's just turn it back to black. Select it first. Bring up the opacity. Click off it. There we go. So I'm just going to, using my line weights as a guide, I'm going to now go through the interior and do exactly the same process. Get all the lines in, and then I'm going to come back to you guys when I'm doing all these shadows and the thicker areas and show you how to do that bit. Well, that's all the interior work done. I'm happy with that. I did get a little carried away with the shadow area. I said I'd sort of show you how to do that. There's a few more lines up here we can do. It's the same process, so there's no major issue there. But basically, it doesn't really matter what your stroke size is, because we're going to fill this in. So all I've done is just trace around the edge and connect it. As long as your lines overlap with the other lines and you've got a solid area inside, and the same with all the bits you want to do, you'll be fine. So don't worry about the stroke width or anything like that. So we'll do these little bits up here. Go back into the Bezier pen. Just click. All I'm going to do is jump across these big arcs. Hit enter. Go into the node tool and just grab these and move them up to make the smoke. And then to add a little bit of weight to this, we're basically going to shadow that again. So I'm going to just hit B and just do another set. Really close. Actually, let's just change the line weight, because I've made them to... It defaults to 0.265 for some reason, so I've had to change it on every line to 0.25. So let's just hit the nodes tool. Let's make that a little bit fatter. Yeah, looks okay. And then one last one. Oh no, two last ones. Let's just zip across these. That 2.5 again. 0.25. If you're still with me and you're still watching the video, it'd be great if you hit the like button and help me out. I'm hopefully not talking to myself, but it has been known. Nearly done on this now. There we go. Right, so that's all the line work done. I can now delete these lines here. Let's get rid of those. And to do the fill, we need to remove the photo. So we can get that out of the way now. So we need a solid background behind. So I'm just going to draw up a square. That'll do. Let's just make it white. And we'll drop him to the bottom. And now we can zoom in on our illustration. So it's just a case of picking up the fill tool, the paint bucket tool, and provided you've connected all your lines to other lines, you should just be able to, let's just select black, fill in your areas. Now you're going to get occasionally things like this. We can fix that with a node tool. It'll do most of it. I think you've got to play around with the threshold, grow and shrink by. There's a few settings up here, and I haven't used it enough. Actually, we're getting a pretty good result with those. Oops, that's because my line didn't meet the edge of the wheel. It's that one. Let's do that. I get it sort of nearly right, and then it's easy enough to fix with the node tool, so I don't really worry too much about it. I didn't think about the wipers. Might have to come back to that. So yeah, I can either manually just go back in and click on the little areas that get missed, which doesn't take long. Oh, careful. Or you can do it by the nodes tool. Just see if there's any left. There's one there. Look, if we click on the node tool, you should be able to just stretch him over to cover up the gaps. And on complicated drawings like this, you're bound to get something that hasn't worked quite right, but everything's fixable. Let's just see if we can fill this one. So it is a little quicker to fill it. No, won't let me do it. Let's go back to node tool, and then it's just stretch that over the holes. Let's hope I haven't made any new holes anywhere. What's that looking like? Oh, it's a tiny one down here. Look. Oh, look at that slither. That's got it. Yeah, shame I didn't think about the wipers. We could actually delete those off. Let's delete them and then just fill in the windscreen. It'll probably look better without them. Headlights. Let's do those. Cool. And then let's just look at the photo again. Edge. There's a little thicker edge. I'll go to the nodes tool. I need to make, there's a little thicker shadow there, so I'm going to click on that one. I'm going to make that a stroke to path to give me some more nodes. And then what I can do is actually just drag this one down and thicken up that edge. Bring this one down. What's that look like? A bit of a wobble on that one. Try and smooth that out a little bit. No, not happy with that. No, gone the wrong way, that's made it worse. That's better. Just gives it a bit more of a dynamic kind of look to it. I want to match that edge there, so it's just a little smoother too. And there was one on the front wheel, I think around here. Let's have a look again. Yeah, it's just sort of around here somewhere. Let's do the same path, straight to path, and then I'm going to select multiple ones, that one, and that one. Let's just drag those in a little bit. Yeah. And I'm going to try and smoothen this one out a touch. A bit more. It's simple, but it's not easy. How's that? There we go. So that's how you get a sketch into Inkscape as a line art drawing. You could try inking it by hand. I've just seen some bits I've missed. One bit I've missed. That's better. Yeah, you could ink it by hand and scan it in, but it wouldn't look as clean as that. So, and you'd get loads of little artifacts. You'd be deleting all sorts of stuff. No matter how carefully you scan it and what settings you'd have little speckles everywhere. I've tried it a few times before and I've not had much success. So I think, yes, it takes longer to do this, but I think the results speak for themselves and it's worth doing. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, give me a like if you're still here. That's great, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.